Thank you so much for joining me today, just to have a quick chat about the Independent Impact 50 and your take on it. So I suppose my first question is, when you got the email back in April, saying you'd made the cut for the inaugural list, how did you feel?
I mean, to be honest, an absolute thrill because we submit dozens of award applications a year for clients, and never for us as a business and never for me personally. And we have a pretty high success rate for clients. But the Impact 50 questions were the toughest I've ever completed. I mean, that was a bit of a ball ache. So I didn't really expect us to win. And we were very happy to be on the list. And it was also an honor and a privilege to be in such esteemed company. And imposter syndrome, as a former journalist, is always present in the PR business for me. But for clients to be able to see that we were one of the Impact 50 has been really helpful for us. And profile wise, it's been great to be able to put that on the website and to use it in our publicity and in our pitches for new work as well.
Amazing. And rest assured, imposter syndrome is not limited to former journalists. It's limited to everyone who I think is half decent. So yeah, I think don't beat yourself up over that. So I suppose the second question is that you've been doing this for a little while now. How long have you been independent? Remind me.
5 years, six
That's
years,
right.
five
So
and a half.
similar,
Yeah.
similar to me. So, in terms of behaviours from clients that have surprised you, what would you say those behaviours are? And obviously, I'd love to hear about all the positives, but in the real world, if there are any behaviours that have perhaps been less positive, to reflect the realities of independent practice.
I mean, not paying invoices, it is the biggest bugbear for us, biggest waste of time chasing those organizations. And it's often the most difficult clients, the ones who pester you, night and day on email and WhatsApp and every other forum. And it's those companies with the most amount of cash quite often that don't pay on time. Sometimes, 2 or 3 months late. And for a small business, as I'm sure you're aware, and everyone else that's watching this, it is really tricky sometimes paying your own bills when no one pays for 3 months. I should stress that we have a lot of clients that do pay on time and do it regularly and make sure that our invoices are paid promptly. But over the years, we've had to chase, in my view, way too many times, and we now threaten on every invoice to charge additional fees and additional Bank of England base rate, as is the government guideline, if it remains outstanding for more than 30 days. We've never used it, and I don't imagine we ever will because you want to remain on good terms with your clients. But one brilliant tip I was given by Nigel Sarbutts, it has to be said, was to create a finance at email address or someone in finance. And we use that to send to chase and to get stroppy with our clients. And since we've done that, the difference has been amazing. In terms of other things that clients do, I love that they see us as immersed in their business and part of the business, and don't really see us for the most part as an external. We're on all their internal systems, get invited to all the events, and are seen as an internal member of staff.
Superb. Very good. Yeah, no, a balance of positive and less so. Changing gears, imagine you're sitting with Alistair, the CEO of the CIPR, and Sarah, the relatively newly minted CEO of the PRCA. If there was one thing you'd love them to understand about the experience of practicing as an independent, and the one thing that you'd like them to understand about the value and importance of the sector overall, what would those two things be?
Well, aside from hoping that they're paying for lunch and not me, that we are a massive part of the PR sector. I think from the last study that you guys shared, it was around 8,000 practitioners and growing in the UK, and that we generate 450 or so million pounds a year for the economy. That we should be recognised as a hugely important part of the sector. And why is that? Because I think we're much more flexible than big agencies are, more able to immerse ourselves in a business and to be seen as part of that business, not an external agency. We can be more specialized. In our case, that's a bit of tech, death tech environment, and a few other odd things like space tech. And of course, quicker on our feet sometimes, particularly in crisis comms scenarios, and available for the most part whenever a client wants us.
Absolutely, really good points. Really good points. I was talking to someone else about independence going mainstream, and I think that really is happening. So 5 years. So you'll have gone independent either just after the start of COVID or just before. It sounds like, which must have
Yeah.
been fun. I'm 6 years, so yeah, it was the same experience. If you could talk to the Tim of 5 years ago, and provide, give advice on, whether to go independent or not, and if so, how to approach it, what would you say to that Tim of 5 years before?
I think do it now, not in 5 years' time. Don't look back, despite all the roller coasters that we go through and people not paying invoices and having loads of clients and then suddenly having a lot fewer clients for some reason. Um, I think just do it. No more. You get no more know-it-all, egotistical bosses taking all the credit and sometimes lying in interviews when you've briefed them on something and they decide to go their own way and make something up. Not very helpful. No more stipulated hours in the office. No more stinky, sweaty commutes. You can work from home. And more importantly, you can take time off and days off when you say and not when they say. But remember, you're going to have to work really hard, even on holidays sometimes. But the benefits, in my view, definitely outweigh the downside.
Wonderfully summarized. I think, someone said the other day, the freedom and the fulfillment can be considerable, but it's absolutely not for everyone. So I think you've captured both facets. And yes, the sine wave, the roller coaster is real. I can confirm. Good. If you look finally at the next 12 months and you had to pick maybe two or three adjectives to sum up how you're feeling about the year ahead, what would those adjectives be?
I think impactful, hopefully, part of the Impact 50, immersed in a business, in touch with what's going on and new phases in AI and those kind of things, and hopefully in profit.
Profit. Nicely put. We all love a dividend, right? I think it's what
Very helpful.
buys the bread. Brilliant, Tim. Thank you so much for a typically eloquent and erudite summary of life as an independent. I hope we'll see you throwing your hat in the coming year, and I hope to catch up in person very soon. Thank you again.
Thanks, Rob.